ikinci oturumumuzda ODTÜ Teknokent atom girişimcileri Atakan Ateş ve Durukan Ateş bizlerle olacak.
Will be
Kendileri Unreal Engine'in örnek kullanımları hakkında bir workshop yapacak
they're
bize sunumla başlayıp öncesinde. Şimdi
gonna
kendilerini davet ediyorum.
Unreal engines. Now I would like to invite them.
Merhabalar,
Merhabalar, hoş geldiniz.
hoş bulduk.
Welcome to our session.
İyiyim, teşekkür ederim. Siz nasılsınız?
Oh, very good, thank you.
Hazır olduğunuzda ekran paylaşımını başlatabilirsiniz.
You may start sharing your screen.
Tamam. Merhabalar, ben Atakan Ateş. Ekran geliyor diye düşünüyorum.
Name is Atakan Ateş. Now I've shared
Evet,
the.
sorun yok, ekranda görebiliyoruz.
Yeah, it's we can see your screen.
Bugün Unreal Engine'in kullanım örnekleri üzerine konuşacağız.
Yeah, we are going to talk about exemplary usages of Unreal Engine.
Biz kimiz?
First of all, who we are. We are under the body of Atom, and this is called History of Wisdom, and that's an action and adventure game. We have been developing it. And today, what are we gonna make? We said let's make a game. So this is what a developer is already doing. Let's make a game together and let's share the software and the technical properties of the game.
Oyunumuzu tasarlayalım ve yapalım dedik ama
So we said to design the game, but what kind of game should we do?
hedef kitlemiz geliştiriciler.
So we are focusing on developers. That's why we need to make familiar with the developers. So we are going to talk about basic collision overlap. We're going to talk about artificial intelligence and behavior tree. We'll talk about blueprint, communication. We are going to talk about a dispatcher and interaction, and we will mention success and failure. So let's have a look at the in-game part. So there are some mechanics. We have designed some mechanics, and these are automatic door. Why have we preferred automatic door? Because in order to make you think that how an automatic door functions in reality. So when it sees us, it opens, and when it doesn't see us, it closes. So it was a good example to express it in real time. And following that, so in order to mention the tools of Unreal, we have designed a basic artificial intelligence. So we have taught an artificial intelligence, and it was an enemy of us. And following that, we have decided to have a platform and a platform switcher. And when you press the switcher, we wanted that our platform moves. And if we can't pass this platform, we call it a dead pit. And we have built a dead pit. When you fail, you fall into the dead pit. And you need to restart the game. So all of those mechanics can be seen in our game, and we can place them in our game. So in our level design, we start from an empty room, and following that, we have transferred to a larger room, and we have investigated a hole, and following that, there is a wardroom or and some place called like this. So we have some automatic doors here, and we have placed our automatic doors. Two automatic doors are here and one artificial intelligence. We have a switcher, and we have a dead pit. So when we look at this structure in general terms, the mechanics are clear, and we have information about mechanics. So what is the software version of it? I would like to go through. So while doing this process in other plays, in other games, we need to get some examples. So in this gameplay framework, we just exemplify chess.
piyon, yani 2 tane değil, çok sayıda piyonumuz var.
there are
Piyonlar
many
bizim
pawns,
veya oyuncunun kontrol ettiği
So the pawns are controlled by the players, of course. So these are the objects that are controlled by the players, and we are the players. So there are two players, there are two mutual players.
Karşılıklı oynandığı
Because chess is a mutually played game, and there are two mutual players, and there are also some events that we don't see. For example, we have some rules that we do not see.
Bunları düşündüğümüzde
When we think those rules,
küçük bir örnek olarak, yani oynanış örneği olarak,
so it's also a small behavior example,
kurallarımızdan oluştuğunu
and
söyleyebiliriz.
it constitutes some rules inside.
Bu yapıyı böyle anlattık.
So after talking about the structure, why have we mentioned this structure? The reason of this is in Unreal, there are some
Karşılıklarının ne olacağını düşünmek için.
software versions in this structure. We would like you to make you think that way.
Pawn, Unreal'da doğrudan karşılığa
Pawn
sağlanan bir
has
yapı.
have a direct mutual on the other side.
Düşündüğümüzde piyon, yani şah, vezir ve benzeri
So we are just talking about pawns right here.
taşlarımıza
And you have also some other tools
hepsine pawn sınıfının
in chess.
altında
And under the body of pawn, we can also constitute them under this body. And also there are some
şu an 2 tane
players.
olduğu için ben
As we said, we have two mutual players, and we have also player controllers here.
pawnlarımızı poz, yani yönetici
So
işlemleri
those player controls manages our pawns.
ve benzeri işlemleri sağlar.
So it provides the characters moving,
Yönetimini sağlar.
and also it manages our artificial intelligence. And we said that we have also some rules.
Adı altında
So under game mode, we can process these rules into our software. As you know, game mode can be provided in most of the games, and it can be provided by the user as well.
biz burada oyun modunu
So
oyunun
here,
kurallarını tanımlamak için
so we use the game mode to identify the rules of our game.
yapı düşündük.
And to exemplify this, we have taught this structure. So in real chess,
Oyuncuya karşı oyuncu şeklinde
the mutual players are from person to person or from one player to player. But in software, we also have some other options.
yapay zeka olarak düşünebiliriz.
Your rival can be the artificial intelligence instead of a person.
AI controller
This time you place artificial intelligence controller.
controller
So in Unreal Engine, then there are two players right now, player controller and also AI controller right now.
yönetimini
So in the management of these two things, so in the management of pawns, you can prefer.
pawn'ı ise karakter olarak düşünebiliriz.
So when you think pawn as a character, why have we preferred this pawn? Because this character has been produced by pawn,
Bir preset, yani hazır yapı sunar.
and it shows us, it presents us with a preset, and the characters are able to walk,
Dışarısında kapsül bulunması, iskelet yapısına
and
sahip
also
olması,
it has a skeletal system,
içerisinde bulundurduğu için
and it provides all those properties inside. That's why character has been preferred to be used here.
bize sunduğu game framework,
So
framework adını verdiğimiz bir
this
yapı. Bunu
has been provided by Unreal to us. It has been pre-identified, and you are provided to use them.
bu şekilde kullanmanızı imkan tanır. Ama kullanmak zorunda değiliz.
But you don't have to use them.
Kullanmamızın bize yararları
But there could be some advantages. In management, for example, it might be some advantages. You can manage successfully.
bizim örneğimiz içinde
For example, in our example, in our game, for example,
değerlendireceğini değerlendirir.
yeah, now we will evaluate and assess how it's gonna be. In our game demo,
Demosuna geçerken bir hatırlayalım.
let's remember the mechanics.
Kapımız vardı,
We have a door,
kapımız vardı,
we have a platform,
anahtarımız vardı.
and also we have a platform switcher.
Anahtarımız bizim etkileştikten sonra açan yapımız
So it opens the door, the switcher opens the door, and also whenever it sees us, our automatic door opens, and also we have artificial intelligence we mentioned.
yani sol tarafta belirttiğimiz
And on the left side,
öge
the first components there, actor. What's an actor? It's a physical entity. We can define it as a physical entity.
ekranda görebilme özellikleri
And you can see it on screen.
varlıktır. Görmek zorunda değiliz ama
Yeah, we don't need to see those entities, but its physical position exists.
Ayrıca daha doğrusu bundan sonra bir
And
de
apart from
bir şey
this,
daha var. Deminki
there is one more thing.
sırada gördüğümüz
As you have
oyuncu
seen in the previous
karakterimiz var.
slide,
Karakteri
we
kontrol
also
eden
have it.
oyuncu var.
We are involved, the character.
Ayrıca kırmızıyla gördüğümüz bir yapay zekamız var.
And also you see it in red color, it's the artificial intelligence and it constitutes a character.
Yapay zeka yöneticisi
And the artificial intelligence controller controls it.
bu yapı bizim indie bir geliştiricinin yolu gibi düşünürsek
This can be regarded as a way of our indie developer. The character starts at the bottom and it goes through the way, and if it overcomes the barriers or failures, it succeeds in the end. So this success and failure, when we complete this process, then we come to the game mode here, and we can call it as game mode. And following that, on Unreal, I'm gonna show you. So I'd like to understand in general terms. On Unreal, you see a vision.
Deminki gördüğümüz haritanın aynısı.
The same.
Burada ilk odamız,
See it.
ikinci odamız, koridorumuz ve başarı odamız.
Two rooms, the hall and also the success room.
Oyunumuzu başlatacak olursak,
We start our game.
karşımızda kapımız var.
There's
Kapımıza
a door
yaklaştığımızda
ahead.
kapımız
When
açıldı.
you come closer to the
Kapımızdan
door, it
uzaklaştığımızda
opens. When you go
kapımız
further
kapandı.
from the door, it
Geçiyorum
closes.
böyle.
You see?
Şimdi kapımız nasıl çalıştı?
Has
Tasarımsal olarak düşündüğümüzde, şurada açabilirim ama
when we think it
etkileşimler, otomatik kapı.
functionally,
Tasarımsal olarak düşündüğümüzde biz diyoruz ki otomatik kapı var ve doğrudan açılıyor. Ama yazılımda bunu daha iyi, daha ayrıntısına girmemiz gerekiyor.
software you have to
Demin
go into
bahsetmeye
details.
çalıştığım otomatik kapının çalışma yapısı.
So in the function of automatic doors,
Otomatik kapı bizi görür ve açılır.
the automatic
Bizi
door
görebileceği
sees us.
bir hacmin, yani görebileceği bir hacmi
It has some volume.
demektir. Burada etkileşebilir alan adını verdiğim bir hacim oluşturdum. Bu hacim bizim içerisine girip girmediğimize bakıyor. Ardından genel bir çerçeve, içerisinde ise kapı yaptım. Bu kapı normal koşulda girmeye çalıştığımızda bizi engeller. Çünkü fiziksel bir engel oluşturur. Biz bunu 180 birim sola, yani belli bir birim sola, engeli ortadan kalkacak kadar, hacmin dışarısına çıktığımızda ise tekrar kapanacak şekilde işleme sokuyoruz. Bunu şu şekilde yapıyoruz. Unreal bazı eylemleri bize
We are doing it in this manner. Unreal provides some actions in ready position to us. And here, on the right hand side, you can see the component overlap. And on component begin overlap, it means the start of the clash and the completion of the clash. And here, when I click on show here, the Unreal will provide the required data for me. And I am the other actor here, and here when I enter the automatic door here, I will see the information about the actor on the automatic door. When it is a character, I mean the player's character, then I request an additional text to me, and then I open and close. And here, the open and close is from 0 to the other value entered. And on the first second, 180 units will be shown over the timeline here. And we call it timeline. And on the timeline, this 180 units is a digital unit. And when you assign the X position here, the previously indicated automatic door will be slided to the left for 180 units. When you are out of the volume, then the time flow will be reversed and it will go inside at the same value.
Şimdi yapımız üzerinde
And
gerçekten
now on our structure, let's progress a little further. There is a general automatic door here, and we entered the first step of this. After passing this door, there is an artificial intelligence, and this artificial intelligence here is walking between the two targets determined. And here, of course, this is a game, but when you collapse the wall, then you will restart the game because the game will be over because the player fails, and then we restart the game. Then there is a pop-up window showing this and how this is achieved. Now when there is a dead pit here and it is processed in this part, our character and our controller is here. You can see the character, and this is the enemy. This is the name I gave to the character.
düşmanımızı nasıl tanımlarız dediğimizde
How to define our enemy? When I click on this window, these are the characteristics of the enemy. Some basic properties are already provided, and the necessary other skeleton mesh and the outer capsule structure has been formed. And here there is a failure area and also an effect to be visible by our player. When we enter into the failure volume, which is the vicinity of the enemy, actually, as in the previous game, we will see whether the collapsing person is our character or not. And if this character is too close to the window, then there is a collapse on on the wall. But the wall is not an enemy. The other character is the enemy. Therefore, I will assign this to the character, and I will enter the game mode and enter fail here. And we define the failure in the game mode, and how we defined it. The failure is defined as an action, is a general rule independent of anything, and actually it's basic rule, and it's not too complex nor comprehensive, therefore it's a small rule. And when there is a failure, you restart the game upon the pop-up window, and we restart the game clicking on the window. And if you fail, the pop-up window again appears saying that you succeeded. And then let's go into some detail about artificial intelligence. If we simulate our artificial intelligence, the Unreal will show us all the possibilities that may emerge at that time instantly. It will give the behaviors. On the right hand side, you can see the interface of this, and targets are also listed here. The targets include destinations. 0 and 1 are the figures, and our destination 0 is here, destination 1 is here. Actually, these are the procedures that we define in artificial intelligence. We ensure that the character goes from one sphere to the other sphere. And if you select your character and restart it, step by step, all the actions of the character will be seen and will be demonstrated by Unreal. And if I am to play it, I retrieve the multi command, and after 1 second the destination is changed, and this is an iterative action. And when I enter into mode 2, there is a structure which is iterative, as I've already said, and I enter the target factor here, and this is our blackboard. I mean, the data are included here about our behavior tree, and we can determine our destination factor here on our blackboard. And this is an administrative work, and who does those administrative works? If there is a controller, then you can assign those administrative works to the controller. I mean, when the administration is taken over by the controller, when we create our character, I will look at the pawn characteristics and I will see whether there is a controller or not and what are the authorities of the controller. I will see it there. And therefore, when I put that character on the stage or within the platform, and drag and drop the character there, the procedure will start. And this behavior tree will be operated and the destination can be changed. The destination can be changed in a simple manner. Actually, you can pick the destinations here from 1 to 0, and when one is completed, the other will start. And on my blackboard, all the destination procedures will be assigned. And here, actually, there are some advantages of doing all these in the interface. While our character is walking, various destinations can be reassigned for the character. And at different levels, this character can be moved to the other points. For example, if our map was a different one here, we could choose another character over the artificial intelligence again. This is the artificial intelligence, and we passed the door and our artificial intelligence prevented us. This was the failure, and I will show you the success. This is our platform key and the death pit I mentioned at the beginning. Here, first let me show you the death pit, and here it operates in a similar manner with artificial intelligence. Actually, this is when you fall into the death pit. Now there is a treasure and a volume. Within this volume, the game mode will show you the failure again, and the character will again fail and the pop-up window again appear on the screen. If the platform and platform key is to be mentioned, let's operate it successfully. We are too close to the switcher and there is an E button emerging. When we press on the E button, it turns to green and then red. I don't know whether you can hear the sound of the game or not. Actually, in the background, there is a sound, and you can see that the platform is sliding. Now, for your platform, there are some features of it actually. Similar to the timeline logic, we created our platform. It is affiliated to one command, and the platform key has been changed, and this change is dependent on flip-flop. And from the very beginning, we and click on the play. It's a linear play, and at the flip-flop part, a reverse transformation will start, and towards the finish will go, and you will return to the start, and this spatial progress will ensure the relative transformation of the actor and the structure itself. Let's look here. I will explain the switcher in steps because there are three structures. Switcher moves the platform. We are in a volume now, and at the bottom part, you can see the phrase saying press E. When you press E, the platform moves, as you see.
Switcher'ımıza aşama aşama gelecek olursak
Let's look at the steps of our switcher. Actually, the logic is the same with the automatic door.
dışım belli bir hacmimiz var.
There is a certain volume, and when we are in this volume
Çıkmamızı algılayan bir
and out of this volume,
böyle bir şey
the structure evolves. Why do we need such a structure?
Çünkü player'ımız
In fact, our player, when our player is in that area, our interface will be seen
komut fonksiyon.
through a function, through a command. This is a definition, whatever you say. And then when events will be done, and it is a general interaction structure. At the beginning of this presentation, I used that term, dispatcher, and the person who dispatches is the dispatcher, and it has the same logic with the social media channels. There's a channel, let's say, there are subscribers who are the users, and there's a dispatcher who provides the information or other things and text to the users or other materials. And here there is a sharing, for example, as a channel. When you enter this channel, there are some options, subscribe or unsubscribe options, and the commands of the relevant choices are provided here. And in this structure, we defined a dispatcher, and the dispatcher is sent to every listener as a notice. When you are in this volume, the platform switcher starts to listen to us, and when you are out of this volume, the switcher gives up listening to you, stops listening to you. When we are out of the volume and when we press E, only the player character is interrupted. When we are in the platform, it says enter platform zone, and if there is an interaction with that platform, here you will see the yellow statement, which is formed by us. And suppose that our character shares a video, the switcher accesses it, and as the switcher listens to us, it retrieves the command for the target platform, plays the music or format, and for 4 seconds we will see the hand in green tones. This is the other structure, and here you will see the platform switcher statement. Platform switch is a platform command for this part of the game. From the first position or from the start position until the finish position, and from the finish position to the start position, it ensures the movements. And this operation is stated in the target platform, I mean our target pin. The affected platform is the object that is created here, and when we press E, our platform moves to the sides. And now I'm coming towards the end of my speech, by the way. I will give the floor to Atakan, who will be talking about the art aspects of this platform. After the presentation, we will receive questions. Hi everyone, I am Durukan Ateş. I will be talking about the visual formations and level designs, and I will give a few examples about this. For this, we need some materials. What are the material systems? And there will be a sample provided to you and how lantern is used in this blueprint. And I will also show you an effect by through an example. In general terms, as you know, the materials are roughness, metallic workflow, or other workflow involving materials. And here I will be talking about the basics and fundamentals of the metallic workflow. It generally involves ambient occlusion, roughness, and metallic. And what are their definitions? We can create a metallic tone by this and in ambient. In order to ensure the performance enhancement, we combine these two and we connect them to the red, blue, or green channels so that the texture material is defined with less data, and in this way the performance increases or improves and the necessary mesh is defined then. And let me give you an example about this. Basically, there is a material, the base color is chosen. It is picked as normal or ambient, and the texture samples are chosen from here. This structure is has variables. What in itself is the master material created here. We can also elaborate it, but this is the basic style. I will leave it in the basic form because I will continue with another structure. This is the master material. Within this master material, there are some parameters which can be changed actually within the master, and this is called the instance hierarchy. When we say material instance, all the parameters defined in a graph ensures us to create many examples. For example, this material I showed you earlier involves some values and color assignments instead of the textures. And here you can see the emissive or a normal text, normal color. And while selecting this vector 3 or vector 4 called colors and emissive features are assigned. And for the metallic and roughness parameters, a grayscale is used. I mean, the black or white forms are retrieved, and any number can be embedded here so that a constant is ensured. And this constant data is a structure retrieving the normal data. It's also evaluated as black and white. And this texture sample and this texture object structures are here. And the texture sample is defined here, and the texture entered here can be adjusted, and the outcomes can be varied through the AGBs, and the visual structure is formed after signing the texture, and we can do it real time. For example, I write a texture here. There is a texture sample on the screen. I just dragged and dropped, and this is defined in the same way. And this texture sample is assigned a parameter, for example, by clicking right and assign a parameter, I can type a parameter here so that I am defining the texture with the values and give a name to the texture, which is, for example, I type here n. And as for the emissive colors, these here in this tab, we can adjust the power of the color. With a coefficient, it is multiplied, and to give a color, a Verga tree is also used. And this structure is a master material, and this master material involves different meshes, and it can be separately created for each material, but in this case, in separate creation, an estimation time elapses, and this is time consuming because sometimes we are reaching up to high values. Therefore, if within IR, we use the material in 5-hour procedure. And with this instance, material instance, this is a master, it means parents, and the blue ones are the child, parents and child. And when we say master, the values defined here are existing inside. And here, with a click here, we can edit the values. Here, there are two master instances you can see, and these are orange and black. And at the same time, one is metallic, the other is rough, and the value can be adjusted by. And there are different instances like this. And when I assign a different material instance to this, I can even change its color. The parameters are important here, and these are the variables in other terms, which can be edited later on. And then this is a master instance, and there are also sub-instances. And there is a similar logic behind this. When we say this is an orange value of the instance, and this can be entered as a default value for this instance. And here you can see the two other materials here, which are the children of the parent one, the upper one, and different roughness and metallic values can be assigned to them. And in this instance, I did the same. It also ensured to change the text. For example, an orange thread is wrapped around it. It provides a different visual for us. And what is the supporting point of this? While creating an instance, different textures can be created here in that simple manner. Actually, the instance transfers its color or any other property. When I change the color of the top one, the following, excuse me, the sub balls also change their color. The color is transferred. And here you can see there are white meshes, other instances, and at the same time, there is one extra instance in the interface. And for example, when I want my walls red, I can change the color here, and the walls have been reddish orange. And this operation can be changed with the parent instance, then all the bond instances will be changed in the same way. I mean, the children of this parent instance will be changed. If you do not close the previous ones, the default will not change. But when I close the previous one, the default will be removed. And all the meshes can be changed with one click. For example, if you're creating a bush area or a forest, it is green, and towards the autumn, you want all the bushes to be turning to yellow, and all the colors of the leaves of the trees will be changed in the direction of a certain parameter. And then using this system, we can also assign a material using the same system. This operation is done as follows. This is a ready example. There is a master instance material here, and there are certain values assigned: emissive, normal, metallic. The variables have been assigned already, and then two different colors were created, and the red one here on the top part is selected as the parent, and only the base color texture is changed, and in emissive color you can see the changes as well. And there will be a unique instance when these colors are entered. This is a different material, and with the help of blueprints, we can assign the properties to the platform. Now you can see blueprint is off. When I click here, the fixed red color will be seen here, and there is the constant lights. And in blueprint, a material is defined, and it is an array. And within that array, or within the interface, there are some arrays whose parameters can be changed, and within this variable the materials are picked with this operation, and then the mesh here is drawn to this part, and I do the assignment with the material function. When doing this, and when I say compile, the random material assignment has been done.
Farklı renk almaya başladı. Ardından
And following this, while forming a level design, we face, for example, we are making something, we are making a lantern, and there's a light inside a lantern, so it doesn't give a fixed light. So because there is no fixed light, we want to have a more realistic image. As you say, you can see some reflections on the floor, and you can understand that we have a fixed light source. And by using the blueprint, we can also change it. So we have a chart here, and between 0 and 2, within 10 seconds, it's gonna be made automatically, and we made it automatically, and it was randomly chosen. So, and when we provide those values, when we drag them from this part with light intensity, we multiplied it with light intensity, and just by dragging them, we put into
tanımlanan
set intensity part,
fonksiyonu çağırdım.
set intensity
Bunu
of the light.
çağırdığımda
And when we call it,
ve oynattığımda
and when we played it,
güçlerin aynı anda değişip geri geldiğini
the
görmekteyiz. Bu
the powers have changed
istediğimiz şeyi sağlamak
simultaneously and turned back.
çünkü hepsi aynı güçte. Farklı
So
bir
they all have the
görüntü
same strength,
Bunu da şu
in
şekilde
but in
tanımlayabiliriz.
different frequencies, and we can define it like this. So we have a previously prepared parameter, and it's a normal figure, and within the chart, in order to start at a random point in my chart, we defined this parameter, and it's defined as timeline start time,
Tanımlamayı yaptığım variable'a bir sayı atamam gerekiyor. Bu
and
sayıyı
we
atama
have
yoluyla
to figure
kullandığımız
out a
7
number,
ile 9 arasında
and the number must be between 0 and 9,
set dedim.
and we drag from set.
Şu anda işlemi devreye soktum.
Then we put the process into action right now. And after calling the value, we also call the process.
Atama işlemini yapmazsak
If we don't do that, then we have the similar result that we have previously.
Bu işlemi yaptıktan sonra
After doing this process,
fenerlerimizin farklı
our lanterns have different frequencies and they have different light sources, as you see.
zamanımız kaldı mı acaba?
Do we have more time? I don't know.
Son örneğe de geçeyim.
And according to that, I will pass through another slide.
Bir particle örneğim vardı ama.
I have a particle example.
Şu an soru gözükmüyor. O yüzden
There are no questions right
teşekkürler.
now. That's why you can continue until 14:55.
Teşekkürler.
Thank you.
Bu örneği de anlattık.
So after this example,
Niagara'nın Unreal'ın içerisinde bulunan Niagara particle effect'ten
and we are gonna mention Niagara particle right now. It can be organized as well.
Örnek olarak
And to exemplify this,
ateş böceği particle oluşturmayı düşündüm.
we would like to think fireflies particles.
Radius yani belirli bir çap etrafında
The fireflies around the radius, they have a movement of circulation.
safir location ya da herhangi box location gibi
So,
location'larla atama işlemi yapabiliyorum.
so we can make the transfer process around some locations,
İşlemini tanımlamak için
and in order to complete this circling process, we have another vortex velocity, and following that,
işlemleri gerçekleştirmek için
and in order to continue the process, we have also another thing named curl noise.
süzülme hareketlerimizi yaptıracak.
It controls our movements. And also another component is to arrange color and size. We're gonna make and improve the vision of our figure and image. And now I open another thing additionally.
Rengini değiştireyim. Beyaz olduğu için
I can change the color because it's white right now. It can't be seen suitably and easily.
particle örneğinde şu şekilde.
In this example,
Şu anda spawn işlemini aktif ettim.
now I activated spawn rate,
Üniter noktasında yani merkez
and
noktasında
at one point of the system, in the central point, as you see here,
lokasyonda
in this location that you have seen, all particles have been formed, and we have to disperse all these particles into a sphere. Then I place a software location, and you can see the radius values here, and it's minimum 50 and maximum 150. So the reason why we defined 50 figure as a minimum, there are the intensity of particles there, that's why, but it's voluntary. But if you define 150, you will see a similar process. And then I define a vortex velocity, and as a default, as a standard, it provides us to rotate in a regular axis. and it has been randomized, and we give the minimum minus 1 and maximum 1. They have been defined, and between minus 1 and 1, all values are going to be scanned, and it's similar to the movement of electrons, and we would like to reduce it, and we have brought it the figures between 10 and 20, and this time it provides me to make a slower movement, a slower process. Then I form kernel noise force, and it provides us to have different frequencies. When it increases, the frequency has increased enormously, then you notice that there is a lot of movement, as you see. Then I change the figures to the noise strength to 20 and noise frequency to 100. I can make noise strength to 100. Then now you see the movement again. Now I add a drag, and the drag has been defined as 0.75. Sürüklemek, drag. So it provides us to slow down our movement and process. Then I make the scale color, and our alpha value and our color are being defined here. I'm allowed to define all of them. And I picked 60 figure and the red color. I don't want it to form quickly and to vanish quickly. That's why the alpha value is between 0 and 1. And I prepared it that way. And the same alpha value has become 0 point. And I just controlled the size in the end, and it has become more realistic and in different dimensions by this way. I think our time is up, as I understand. If you have questions, I'm ready to answer. Thank you very much for listening. We thank you for your participation, actually. If there are questions, yeah, we can take only one single question. There's a question from Yağmur Baran. I haven't used Unreal, and yeah, I've got the idea to make use of Unreal preface. Thank you very much for your presentation. It's been really very fruitful to us. Thank you very much for your nice and fabulous presentation, actually. If there are no more questions, our time is up. Our time is limited, unfortunately. We can finish it up. Thank you very much for participating again.
Kendinize iyi bakın.
Thanks.
Görüşmek üzere.